Hi, my name is Aisha Riggins, and I'm going to read a book passage from The Fault in Our Stars. I'm going to be reading pages 448 through 459 on the ebook reader. Okay, so we arrived in the room, the kindergarten. I sat down on the bed expecting him to join me, but he hunkered over in the dusty paisley chair. That chair, how old was it? 50 years? I felt the ball in the base of my throat hardening as I watched him pull a cigarette from the pack, and he stuck it between his lips. He leaned back and sighed. Just before you went into the ICU, I started to feel an ache in my hip. No, I said. Panic rolled in, pulled me under. He nodded. So I went in for a PET scan. He stopped. He yanked the cigarette out of his mouth and clenched his teeth. Much of my life had been devoted to trying not to cry in front of people who loved me. So I knew what Augustus was doing. You clench your teeth, you look up, you tell yourself that if they see you cry, it will hurt them, and you will be nothing but a sadness in their lives. And you must not become a mere sadness. So you will... Can you stop? So you will not cry, and you say all of this to yourself while looking up at the ceiling. Then you swallow, even though your throat does not want to close, and you look at the person who loves you and smile. He flashed his crooked smile, then said, "It lit up like a Christmas tree, Hazel Grace. The lining of my chest, my left hip, my liver, everywhere, everywhere." That word hung in the air a while. We both knew what it meant. I got up, dragged my body in the cart across the carpet that was older than Augustus would ever be, and I kneeled at the base of the chair and put my hands in his lap and hugged him by the waist. He was stroking my hair. "I'm sorry," I said. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you," he said with his calm voice. "Your mom must know the way she looked at me. My mom must have told her or something. I should have told you. I was stupid. Selfish." I knew why he didn't say anything. Of course, the same reason I didn't want him to see me in the ICU. I couldn't be mad at him for even a moment, and only now that I loved a grenade did I understand the foolish of trying to save others from my own impending fragmentation. I couldn't unlove Augustus Waters, and I didn't want to. "It's not fair," I said. "It's just not goddammit fair." "The world," he said, "is not a wish-granting factor." And then he broke down for just a moment, his sobs roaring importantly like a clap of thunder unoccupied by the lightning. The terrible fiercity that amputeers in the field of suffering might mistake for weakness. Then he pulled me to him, and his face enters her mind's resolve. "I'll fight it. I'll fight it for you. Don't worry about me, Hazel Grace. I'm okay. I'll find a way to hang around and know you for a long time." I was crying, and even then he was strong, holding me tight so that I could see his silently muscles of the arms wrapped around me. He said, "I'm sorry. You'll be okay. It'll be okay. I promise," and smiled his crooked smile. He kissed his forehead, and then I felt the powerful chest deflate just a little. I guess I had a harmadia after all. After a while, I pulled him over to the bed, and we lay there together as he told me that they started palliative chemo. But he gave it up to go to Amsterdam. Even though his parents were furious, they tried to stop him right up until the morning when I heard them screaming that his body belonged to him. "We could have rescheduled," I said. "No, we couldn't have," he answered. "Anyways, it wasn't working. I could tell it wasn't working, you know?" I nodded. "It's just bullshit. The whole thing," I said. "They'll try something else when I get home. They've always got a new idea." "Yeah," I said, having been the experimental pincushion myself. "I kind of conned you into believing you were falling in love with a healthy person," he said. I shrugged. "I'd have done the same to you." "No, you wouldn't, but we can't all be as awesome as you." He kissed me, then grimaced. "Does it hurt?" I said. "No, just..." He stared at the ceiling for a long time before saying, "I like this world. I like drinking champagne. I like not smoking. I like the sound of Dutch people speaking Dutch. And now I don't even get a battle. I don't get a fight. You get to battle, Cancer, I said. This is your battle, and you'll keep fighting, I told him. It hurted when people tried to build me up to prepare for battle, but I did it to him anyways. You'll live your best life today. This is your war now. I despise myself for the cheesy sentiment, but what else did I have? Some war, he said. This mistletoe. What am I at war with? My cancer? What is my cancer? My cancer is me. The tumors are made of me. They're made of me. As surely as my brain and my heart are made of me. It is a civil war, Cancer. It is a civil war, Hazel Grace. With a predetermined winner. Gus, I said. I couldn't say anything else. He was just too smart for the kinds of solace I could offer. Okay, he said. But I wasn't. After a moment, he said, if you go to Risker's Museum, which I really wanted to do, but who are we kidding? Neither of us can walk through a museum. But anyways, I looked at the collection online before we left. If we were to go, and hopefully someday you will see a lot of paintings of dead people. You'll see Jesus on the cross. You'll see a dude getting stabbed in the neck. And you'll see people dying at sea in a battle. And a parade of martyrs. But not one single cancer kid. Nobody biting it from the plague or smallpox or yellow fever or whatever, because there is no glory in illness. There is no meaning to it. There is no honor in dying of. Abraham Maslow. Oh my God. Maslow. I present to you Augustus Waters, who. Oh my God. Who experimental existently curiosity dwarfed that of his well-fed, well-loved, healthy burden. While the massive men went on leading throughout unexamined lives of monstrous consumption, Augustus Waters examined the collection of the Risker's Museum from afar. What? Augustus said after a while. Nothing, I said. I couldn't finish the sentence. Didn't know how to. I'm just very, very fond of you. He smiled with half his mouth, his nose inches from mine. The feeling is mutual. I don't suppose you can forget about it and treat me like I'm not dying. I don't think you're dying, I said. I think you've just got a touch of cancer. He smiled. Gallows humor. I'm on a roller coaster that only goes up, he said. It is my privilege and my responsibility to ride all the way up with you, I said. Would it be absolutely ludicrous to try and make out? There is no try, I said. There is only do. Well, I'm finished. Okay. This was the most important passage. This was the most important passage of the book because it's the turning point in the book. It's the big climax. It tells you that it's now that Augustus Waters who is on a deathbed, and how the tables are turned, because first it was Hazel who was about to die, but now it's Augustus, which is good that the author did that, because it was really unexpected. I didn't expect it. But yeah, well, I'm done.